class with Venerable Gyelse, who is going to continue to teach us deep, deep, deep wisdom about emptiness. How do you like it? We are kind of 42 people now, but I would like to ask you, how is it your practice? Is it going? Because I meditate on it actually. Did you? Could you please put in the chat one if you meditate on your homeworks, if you did something what Venerable Gyelse recommended to do, kind of thinking about these colors, these flavors of emptiness. Yeah, you did? Somebody. Ooh, cool. Wonderful. There are many people who meditate. Great. And maybe somebody got some realization about it. Something came to your mind and you realized something what you did not realize before. Maybe you found where you are now, your level of understanding. What is a place where you now, a place maybe where you stuck. If so, yeah, great. If so, please put two in chat. Yeah, somebody probably got some realization about it. Did you? Yay, Svetlana. Cool. Great. Maybe somebody else. Oh, Rick, the fact that the observer and the observed come from the same seed. Cool. Thank you. Vitalik Kundis. Great. Thank you. So, welcome, Venerable Gyelse. The stage is yours. Thank you. And let's listen to her. And please turn on your cameras.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope that our internet is a little more stable than our seeds for us to be here and for the internet to be working, at least on my end. And let me refocus myself there. I got to turn my camera off and turn it back on. There we go. At least, from my end, that the internet is working better. I had to spend about an hour on Tuesday giving my internet a little bit of tender love care with the help of someone else, and it seems to be stronger now. So hope our seeds hold for today. Before we jump into class, I'm going to do a little bit of an advertisement. This is for our Worldview's newest nonprofit, Blue Sky Friends. And Blue Sky Friends is now a nonprofit. In fact, we got our nonprofit status on Monday. And it is a program to help those who are in transition and having a difficult time, whether it's a relationship or a job, that you're leaving and going to another job, or if someone is struggling, someone who is leaving this world and going on to the next. So we created this program to give some support. And one of the ways we will do that, we have group support sessions once a month. And then we are also having classes right now twice a month, the first and third Friday of every month. And so the next class will be October 3rd, a week from tomorrow. And it's called Good Life, Good Death. I will be teaching it. And it's not just a single class, but a series of classes. So that will be at 7 a.m. a week this Friday, and I just wanted to let you know about that. And it's for anybody to come to. Okay, thank you. You can see the QR code there and then the URL as well. Okay. And now I want to be able to see my interpreters. I see Dorothy and Lavina, Marina, Vitali. Okay, now I can see you so I can pace myself properly, or try to at least. I just did this wrong. Get out of here. Okay, toggle, share. Okie dokie. Hadron, would you lead us in prayers, please?
Sure. Um, can we do it in Tibetan?
Whatever you want to do them in.
Okay, then let's do it in Tibetan and then in English. So, offering of the mandala. Sashi Poki Jukshin Metok
Meto Cham
Rira Plingshin Inde Gyanpadi Sangye Shingtu Mikte Wargi Drakon Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. Here, oops, okay. Um, Sangye Chudang Tsuki Chuknam La Jangchu Bardu Daknik Yapsuchi Daki Chunyen Gipei Sunam Ki Drola Panchir Sangye Druparsho Sangye Chudang Tsuki Chuknam La Jangchu Bardu Daknik Yapsuchi Daki Chunyen Gipei Sunam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Druparsho. I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment. By the power of the goodness that I do in giving and the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we are already on class 3 of 5. Which flavor is your flavor? Right? And we are going to, what do you think? Just jump right into meditation. So make yourselves comfortable. Put your feet flat on the floor. I'm going to have a drink of water. Straighten your back. Start at the top of your head. Relax your forehead. Your eyes. All of your facial muscles. Open your mouth wide, stretching it, relaxing those jaw muscles. Closing it gently, placing the tip of the tongue on the top of the roof of your mouth. Place a little smile on your face, opening up your two side channels. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and roll them onto your back, opening your heart chakra up. Pull your tummy in a little bit. Helps to straighten the central channel. Place your hands gently in your lap, on your legs, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then come to the tip of your nose and begin to, like you're a little person who's holding the door for people there. Put your attention that firmly on the tip of your nose. Feel the warm air going out and the cool air coming in. And I'd like to invite even the interpreters to close their eyes. They don't need to read anything right now. We'll stay here on the breath for a few moments. Just going into neutral, reminding our minds that they can focus and not be all over the place. Exhaling and inhaling. If your mind wanders, just bring it back, paying attention to the breath as it goes out and comes back in. And then we'll start the preliminaries. The preliminaries are quite important to do before you meditate. It helps to prepare our minds for the main meditation. We plant good seeds and we destroy ones that we have that are creating obstacles for us. And I found over the years that it really does help me to then meditate on the main object. So we start the preliminaries with inviting someone who we really respect to come and join us in this meditation. And so they do get a feeling for them. Or if you're a very strong visual person, you might have an image of them. You at least have an idea of who they are. And invite them to come and sit on a chair in front of you. So you're knee to knee. They are super happy to be with you. And you're super happy to have them be with you. You can feel this sweet energy between you. Think about them and one quality that they have that you would really like to also have. Maybe they're easygoing. Maybe they're really generous. Maybe they're silly. Maybe they're more serious than you. Maybe they know things that you don't know, that you would like to know. Identify it and rejoice in that strongly. And now give them a gift to thank them for being in your life. Something that you know that they would like. The highest gift is your practice. The most powerful. And they accept it and are very happy. Now think of something good that you have done in the last 24 hours. And rejoice in it. Be proud, good kind of pride. Be happy about it. And they're super happy with you as well. So now we're going to clean some seeds. Think of something that you're not so happy that you said or did in the last 24 hours. And also confess that. Play it back like a movie, sharing it with your friend. Clean your heart of it. Understand that that kind of behavior will get in your way. Decide not to do it again. And you both rejoice in that. Take a moment to think of all the people around you who support you and how important they are in your life. And ask them to stay and continue to support you. Particularly the ones who appear to make your life difficult, because they're the ones who help you to move up the ladder in your spiritual practice. They show you what you need to work on. And ask them to show you what you need to work on today. And remember then, when you encounter that you asked for it. Some little sign. So now focus your mind on your favorite physical object, the thing that you own that you like the most. So keeping your inner eyes on that object, slip your worldview between your eyes and the object. And what you're seeing is your tendency to see the object as something which is going to last, something permanent. It's the first level of misunderstanding. Catch yourself thinking of that object as something you're going to have for a while. Now strip that away and see it for what it really is. Take the gotcha away and the emptiness of that gotcha, the absence of that self-existent thing that doesn't exist. It's an object you're going to lose quite soon. It's passing through your life at lightning speed. and you'll lose it soon. You'll be separated from it. Look at it that way. Now go back to just looking at it, just focusing on the object by itself. And look at it through rose-colored glasses of ownership. I control it. I control where it goes. I control who uses it. I control where it's put in my house. I control whether it leaves my house. That's ownership. Look at it in that light, as if you own it. Get the emotion or the feeling of what it is to own it. Then strip away the gotcha, that non-existent ownership, which doesn't exist, and look at the object again, truly, as being empty of ownership. You don't own it. You don't control it. You can't tell me where it will be tomorrow. It could be taken from you at any time by forces way beyond your control. Now we'll go to emptiness flavor 3. Focus back on the object again without thinking anything about it. Just look at it. Now try to picture you and the object both together, like me and my laptop. Then very, very subtly, try to tune in on your feelings about where those two things came from. Like if I check really carefully, I have this very solid feeling that the laptop came from the Apple factory. And it's made from plastics and resistors. That somebody bought it online and sent it to me. Get that feeling. Where did the thing come from? Where did you come from? Like me, I was born in a certain place. I've moved around this country, ended up in a certain place, and then I ended up sitting at this desk. Ordered the laptop, went searching on a computer for it. That's how I met the laptop. That's that feeling about how we believed it happened, like some kind of random thing. Now strip away the gotcha, that self-existent thing, the non-truth about that meeting of you and your object. Actually, what really happened is that you did something in the past that brought you to that moment. And you also did something in the past that brought the object to you at that moment. So, flavor number 3, there are no accidents in life. There's no randomness at all. Every single object you encounter is a creation of your own seeds from the past. The laptop coming to the store or to the online store, or being created at all, and you being there to buy it, have both come from the same seed. There are no accidents. Now go back to your favorite object and then try to get in tune with another flavor of your misunderstanding about it, which is when you look at it, it has this warm, fuzzy glow about it that it's inherently a good thing. That any reasonable person would find it meaningful and beautiful. Even if they don't enjoy it as much as you did. Any person in their right mind would find this a beautiful and valuable thing. Now strip away that gotcha. See that that's not true. Strip away that warm, fuzzy feeling about it. Strip away your bias about it. Try specifically to think of someone who might think it's the ugliest thing in the world, or it's the thing that gets between you and them, that it's useless, that you spend too much time with it. Come back to your breath. Feeling the warm air going out and the cool air coming in. Just talking about emptiness is an incredibly powerful seed. Look up and see your friends still sitting there with you. Thank them for being in your life. They're very pleased with you. And they begin to grow smaller and smaller and smaller till they're about maybe the height of your hand. And they rise up in front of you. They turn around and come to sit on the top of your head. You can feel the weight of their body, the warmth of their body. They get smaller and smaller and smaller until they're about the size of a pea. And they slip into your central channel, sliding down to the chakra at your heart, where you've prepared a beautiful room for them. You can put your mind in there and see the room. Maybe there's sunlight streaming into it. Maybe there's some flowers on a table. Whatever it is you've prepared for them. And their wisdom and their light shines from their heart into your body. And all the goodness that we've done thinking about our misunderstandings and the emptiness of them goes out into the world and touches every being. And they get a little aha moment too. And the light comes back into your heart. Three long exhales. When you're ready, open your eyes and stretch, and we'll continue. Oh, well done. So we went through some of the flavors, right? We're going to talk more about this thing, the gotcha, the pink two-headed psychedelic elephant rampaging through my room or your room. So we use this word because it's a word that signifies a bigger idea, right? A self-existent thing, the thing that emptiness is empty of. Emptiness has emptiness, right? The thing that doesn't exist, never did exist, never will exist. It is the absence of something. So in the schools, what do we say about the gotcha? We do think, even though we say, like, my laptop is not self-existent, we think it exists self-existently. And that causes all of our troubles, all of our obstacles. So does anybody remember what the first flavor is? Something that could something unchanging. And if it's unchanging, then it would last forever, right? Because it would never change. Of course, it could never do anything either, because by doing something, it changes. So flavor number one is something that could last forever. What's number two? I can't read Russian. Thank you, Kristen. No ownership. Ownership, right? Specifically, in the teachings on emptiness, it refers to the fact that we think our body and our mind, like, we control them. That I can control putting my hand up, or I can control making my head nod. Like, we think we're not going to get sick because we can control it. We think we can stop having a negative emotion 2 hours from now. Is it true? Is it true? Erebor says, I can't control this in the present moment. Exactly, right? It's a wrong idea. The only way we can control anything, and I usually think that people who are interested in these teachings are the biggest control freaks because they want to be able to control their lives, right? But we do it in the wrong way. And it's obvious we can't control our bodies. We can't tell if we're going to be healthy next week or not. And we obviously can't control our possessions, or we'd never have problems with other people about them. So that's the lie of ownership. The only way that we can control anything is through planting seeds now for the future. What's number three? Nothing is random. Yeah, no accidents. Yeah, everything are empty of coming from separate seeds. Thank you, Hanven. Yeah, things around you are caused by certain karmic causes that also brought you to this place. Things come from the same karmic seed, right? Me and the pen. Okay, what's number four? No one is right. Judgment. Favorite song, right? It's a statement about judgments. Judgments are constructs. Judgments are creations. This is how I fell asleep last night. In fact, was thinking about everything in my existence is a construct, is a creation. And yet I think they're real things. And so judgments are void of not being creations. And that's what number 4 is. We label things. What we call things doesn't come from their side, it comes from our side. And I have a really, it was an upsetting situation many, many years ago. I had gone on a trek in the Himalayas. This was like 40 years ago or something. In fact, even more than that. And before many of you were born. And at the time, I was a weaver and working in fiber arts. And I was up in this high mountain village, and it was cold and snowy. And there was a woman spinning wool with something that's called a drop spindle. And I taught her how to crochet. I made a crochet hook with a chopstick. And I taught her how to crochet, and she made a hat. And in exchange, she gave me this beautiful little tool to spin wool with. And I brought it back to America, to my parents' home. And my parents had dogs. And somehow the dog got my beautiful handmade little spindle and chewed it to bits. It was just all in splinters. It was not usable anymore. Here I had, put it in my backpack and trekked with it. I put a lot of energy into it, and I was super upset. To me, it was this precious object that I had put all this energy into. To the dog, it was a chew toy. It didn't come from its own side. It wasn't a precious, well, maybe it was a precious chew toy to the dog. I don't know. But this is how we relate to things in our lives, right? So, how does this apply to our negative emotions? Favorite songs, what you and I should do this afternoon, where we should go for a meal, what movie we should go to see, things like that. I want to do this, but you want to do that. No, no, no. You don't understand. This is better. But this is better is a construct. The mind-only school is saying that's something that you have created in your mind. To you, it's better. But that doesn't mean that to someone else it's better. Knowing this is very helpful to eliminate negative thoughts and emotions and not judging other people. In the study of emptiness itself, which one is better? Which one is the best of these 6 flavors? It's the one that helps the particular person at the level where they are now. Otherwise, the Buddha wouldn't have turned the first turning of the wheel and the third turning of the wheel. there would have just been one, which is the second, where he taught number 6. That's all. Which is better? Whichever one fits that person at that moment. And even better is a construct. Who's judging the better, right? Which one is correct? We would say number 6. Yeah, it depends on the listener's perception, which is the best at that moment. So I've invited you to be 4, and I'd like to invite you again, maybe write down, check in with your mind where you're at during the day. Where am I in these different flavors? What am I holding to in this moment? Right? So number 5, we just did number 4. Lo nume la rangwa wangi shaksam mayinpar, duorangi tumo mayimpe, duluk sujupe tongwa. Things are empty of existing from their own side. They can only exist if a normal state of mind is also seeing them. This is flavor number 5. The fact that objects are void of existing from their own side through any unique identity of their own, rather than existing simply by virtue of having appeared to an unaffected state of mind. So this is emptiness according to the lower half of the middle way school. And it has to appear to an unaffected state of mind. That means you're not drunk, you're not half asleep, you're not angry, you're not jealous. Just a normal state of mind. So according to this independent group, the lower middle way school, the Svatantra group, this is the subtle lack of a self to things, or real emptiness. Wangi means by virtue of that. The thing is there, it's appearing. There are 2 conditions. The pen is appearing to my mind, and my mind is seeing it. Then you can say something exists. It's a little more subtle than the mind-only school, which says the pen is existing totally from its own side, through its own unique way of being, whether I'm there or not. There's still a pen. It's like the old saying, if a tree fell in the forest and nobody hears it, does the sound exist? Mind only would say yes. Majjhimika Svatantrika, the independent school, says no, both have to be there. Both have to be there. You have to have two conditions present. There has to be the object appearing to the mind, right? And the object has to do its thing, and then your unaffected state of mind has to do its thing. The pen has to be appearing as a pen, and there has to be someone thinking of it as a pen. And then you can say that the object is existing. That's that word shock here, shakpa. And sam, that's all you need. Shak sam, that's all you need. Is there to be an object and a perceiver who's perceiving the object. So it's not necessary that the object exists 100% from its own side. It only has to be appearing as a pen in a way. And then the other 50% comes from our minds. That's all. 50-50. So what would a self-existent thing be like? What would a gotcha be like in this flavor? Anybody have an idea? You wouldn't need a perceiver. It would be the opposite. What would it be like to have something that wasn't that way? What way? 50% appearing in a certain way? 50% you seeing it? What would it be like? A self-existent thing, a gotcha. The thing that emptiness says does not exist. What is it? You, the object. So the thing, let's say pen. The pen from its own side, through its own unique way of being from its own side, all by itself, just a pen. Does such a thing exist according to the lower half of the middle way school? In this school, can the pen exist from its own side out here all by itself? No. You have to have somebody's mind looking at it and saying, pen. So we can call this one 50-50. 50% of reality is coming from the pen, and 50% of the reality is coming from me. Do you get a flavor of how that's different from me and the pen came from the same seed? In that case, there's still a pen out there self-existently, even though it came from the same seed. It is a pen. It cannot be a chew toy, right? So number 5, the independent group, the Majjhimika Svatantrika, there it exists from its side, appearing as a pen, and I'm thinking of it as a pen. And there is a classical example of this. It's the story of a magic show. In past times, magicians and musicians and circuses, whatever, would travel around the countryside. Let's see if I can lower my hand. Lower hand. There we go. Traveled around the countryside to villages and small cities and towns, right? And people would gather around. And in this case, they gathered around this magician. And people love magic shows, right? It's so exciting. It's like we can't understand how it works. And people gathered around, and the magician has a stick. And he also has in his little pouch at his waist some very special, like fairy dust. So the people are watching, they gather around close, and he throws down the stick and he scatters fairy dust and he says a special mantra, and a horse appears. And all the people are like, oh, look, that stick turned into a horse, right? There's more to this story, but for this class, we want to know, well, how the heck is the horse appearing? Is it possible, right? Madhyamika Svatantrika says two things must be there. The stick, which is the basis to do the magic, right? Something to throw on the ground. There has to be a thing that has some kind of relationship to, say, the horse. And secondly, there have to be people in the audience who are buying into it. They must be participating. The use of the mantra and the dust, right? Help them to be in the mood to see something. It's kind of like taking drugs, but it has to be something you are looking at. It just occurred to me that just now, as I was saying this, that this is true of everything we see. Like I'm thinking about seeing something on social media. And I might perceive it one way and somebody else perceives it another way, right? Because we have some type of dust forcing us to see it in a particular way or hear the words in a particular way. We're buying into it in a particular way. So there's the picture on social media or something somebody is saying, and we filter it through our glasses, the dust, the mantra, and see it in a particular way. Okay. Let's get back to our slideshow. Oh, that's not going to work. I guess my seeds need some cleaning up for communication. Okay, so where were we? We were talking about the mind-only school, right? Let me go get a pen. I had to switch desks. So they say it's just a pen from its own side, right? It comes from one karmic seed, as me and the pen, right? But when we pop out from that same karmic seed, then we separate. The pen is existing from its own side, and I'm existing from my side. Yeah, they say we do come from the same karmic seed. Yes, there are no accidents, but I'm separate from the pen. It has its own existence from its own side. And I have my own existence from my own side. I want you to get an idea of the differences in these flavors. And hopefully you are. So in the lower half of the middle way school, there has to be a cylinder appearing pennish. And then from your mind, you have the seed to think pen. And voila, there's a pen there. If the magician didn't throw the stick down, meaning that there was no cylinder, if nothing was appearing to your mind, you couldn't have a pen. On the other hand, they say in the scripture, suppose somebody comes later, after the magician threw the dust and after he said the magic words, and asks, what's going on? And everybody says, look, there's a horse. Would he see a horse? He'd say, I just see a stick. He didn't get the LSD or the fairy dust or whatever it was in his head, right? He's just seeing the stick. And that would be the example of trying to see a pen without having any seeds to see a pen. Without being able to cognize, to conceptualize, to understand, to have an image of what a pen is. So, what kind of mental problems would this address? One of my teachers, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, wrote a book called Transforming Problems into Happiness. This is the level of practice in Flavor 5, Lojong, for those who have studied Lojong. It's an incredibly powerful tool. It's like, is this an opportunity or is this a disaster? Does the problem exist? Could I see it differently? Does it have limitations? does this flavor have limitations? Yeah, of course it does. Because basically you're just trans, you're you're looking at something through different colored glasses. You're not ultimately having a different perception of it. It's helpful. It's fantastic. It's wonderful up to a point. Like you can use it when, like for me, when my marriage broke apart. Oh, he's just a special person trying to get me to a higher place and not be in this relationship anymore, right? Or when you get fired. Oh, Geshe Michael just took away the job I've been doing for 3 years. I could have held on to it or lojong it. Ah, this frees me to do something else, right? You get fired, maybe you'll get a better paying job, or you can have the time to do something you've wanted to do forever. We can try and think of it that way. If you don't find a better job, or you end up with a worse one, then it didn't exactly work. Because it's the idea that the problem existed from its own side. And then you're trying to think of it in a certain way. This way of thinking, using Lojo, which I think is amazing. I love Lojo because I haven't seen emptiness directly yet, right? Lojong fits independence school's idea of emptiness. Whether it turns out to be a blessing in disguise or a disaster depends 50% on you. So seemingly a bad thing has happened, whether it turns out to be a real bad thing or whether you can kind of push it towards being a good thing or an opportunity depends on you. Master Shantideva calls it a strategic alliance. You supply the object of irritation, and I'll supply the patience. And together, we will get me to enlightenment. The idea of transformation is a very useful idea. It helps us to see things in new ways, new paradigms, great for creativity. You know, like using things in new ways that they're not supposed to be used for, like skillful means, how to do something with skillful means. And teachers do this all the time. They're sensitive that 50% of reality is coming from them. So they can provide that 50% using a shoestring to regulate an accelerator on a car. They see beyond this idea of the object existing self-existently. If we could live by flavor number 5, our work, our life, our personal relationships, whatever you choose to do, artist, dancer, musician, business person, carpenter, it doesn't matter. If you can see this kind of emptiness, can make all kinds of things out of all kinds of things. Like what I said about my divorce. Instead of it, well, yes, there was a lot of times when I was thinking it was a tragedy and horrible. That's when I got it into the self-existent side of it. And then the enlightened side would go, oh, maybe they're just trying to help you to develop more spiritually, to go to a higher place. Right? So anytime there is a disaster at work, you can use it and turn it around. You can go in a new direction. And that is what Lama Zopa's book is all about. It is a Kadampa practice. The Kadampas were the first people to practice Lojong in the Himalayas. To see that 50% of the disaster is coming from its side and the other 50% from me. Whether I get upset or not, whether you accept it as a disaster or look at it some other way, it's we provide that 50%. It's very cool, right? So we could call this one problem or opportunity, right? We can use this problem or opportunity as a path. Does it get us to enlightenment or nirvana? Not quite, but almost. Does it work all the time? For that, we have to go to flavor number 6, Majjhimika Prasangika, the second half of the middle way. Madhyamika means middle way, and Prasangika means consequence. It's a logical term. It means absurd consequence. They believe that if you were to go up to someone and said, do you really believe that this thing exists from its own side? And don't say anything else. Prasangika would say that it is enough to convey an understanding of emptiness to someone. There are other people said, well, if you think that, we'll call your school Prasangika because that's the logical method of asking someone a question. Do you really believe that that pen exists from its own side? That it will always be here? That you own it, right? That question itself starts someone thinking. And that, my dears, is the end of today's class. Flavor number 5. So let's envision that perfect world that we want to create, that we want to plant the seeds for, that we are planting the seeds for right now by talking about these holy things, and offer it to every being in the world those who are struggling, those who we struggle with, to every being, right? To those we don't know, to those we do know. Here is the great earth, filled with the smell of incense, covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, the 4 continents, wearing a jewel of the sun and moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of a Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every being experience the pure world. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami. And then we're going to dedicate everything again, all of the goodness that we've done here, thinking about these things, looking at our minds, going through the different flavors, checking out, how am I perceiving that thing, right? We're going to dedicate it to becoming an enlightened being for the benefit of all beings. By the goodness of what we have just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the 2 ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. Thank you. I'd like to ask if there are any questions. I'm going to open the chat here. I haven't been able to look at it. Transform problems into masterpieces. Lovely. Let's see. Irvor, you have a question? Please, let's see if I can unmute you. No, I do not have that power. Can you unmute yourself? Tech, please allow people to unmute themselves. Thank you. Go ahead, Irvor.
Can you hear me?
Little louder.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would to ask, thank you for amazing classes. The 5th flavor of emptiness, that's mean if the thing exists 50% outside and me exists 50%, without any observer, the thing doesn't exist? So if I don't exist, the thing doesn't exist?
You tell me.
I think yes, in that flavor.
In that flavor, yeah, the thing does not exist if you don't perceive it. Think about the tree that falls in the forest. If you're not there to hear it or observe it, does it exist for you?
Okay.
No. There's somebody on an iPhone who has their hand raised. I don't know your name because all it says is iPhone 8. Did you mean to raise your hand? Oh, I know
¿Alguien
who.
más con una pregunta?
Do you have a
Hola,
question?
¿tienes una pregunta?
Rinshin,
Yes, yes. I'm trying to
there
get,
you
I'm
are.
trying to unmute myself. I just got it. You hear me?
Okay.
Ahí sí.
Thank you. I was trying to unmute and I couldn't do it. Okay. I'm maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but there needs to be an object,
Necesita
and
existir un
there needs to be a perceiver of that object for that object and that
Oh, wait a minute. You just got muted. Tech, can you unmute Rinchen, please? Okay, you're unmuted again.
Okay, so there needs to be an object and an observer of that object for that the for the existence of the two. Without the observer, the object doesn't exist, and without the object, the observer doesn't is not observing an object because there's nothing there to observe. I mean, only talking about me and an object, not about the world, because if I die, the object is still there because there are other observers. However, that's, I mean,
Is the object there? You can't say.
no, I can't say because I've gone. I'm not observing that object anymore. I don't exist anymore in this. So I guess my question, I don't even have it thoroughly thought through, but when I no longer exist in a way that I can see the object. Okay, never mind. I have to formulate it better in my mind because I'm really thinking of death, and
Okay.
I think that's another level or another subject. In terms of existence, in terms of object and the observer and the thing observed. So I think that would probably be something. I have to think it. I have to. What do you call that?
Cook it.
Chew it, cook it. I have to cook it and chew it. Chew it, cook it and chew it. Thank you.
Cool. Do that and come back and let us know.
Okay.
Okay, Jessica's asked, can you please help to verify if it exists from its side? How it comes from seeds? So Jessica, I believe you're probably talking, so you're about mind only, where it exists only from its side. Meaning that we have a seed that believes that the pen doesn't come from our seeds, right? That it comes from its own seeds. We have a seed that brings a pen to us that comes from its own seeds, is what Mind Only School is saying. Of course, Madhyamika Prasangika says, well, what about that seed where the pen seed comes from, right? That's the difference in these levels. So in Mind Only, there is a pen out there all the time when it appears to you. Rinchen, can you mute, please? Or maybe I can do that. I did it. Okay. At least that's my understanding of it. In Madhyamika Svatantrika, we're saying there's something pennish out here. Something that is saying, pen, pen, right? Or stick, 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 and I think it's a pen. And we are bringing that image that we have in our own minds of a pen and placing it on this stick. So they're like on the fence, Svatantrika. Well, the pen is partially there, and I'm bringing the other part for the pen to be there. It's like there's a figment of a pen there, and I'm calling it a pen. In mind only, they say there's a pen there, perceived by an unaffected state of mind. And yes, it comes from my seed to produce a pen and me to be there at the same time. Does that help? I didn't see the tree fall, but the Buddha saw the tree fall. Does the tree exist? For who is the question I have to ask you. For whom does it exist? It exists for the Buddha. Does it exist for you? I think you got to cook it. Jessica says it's clear now. Fantastic. So happy to hear that. All right, my dears, I will see you on Tuesday then. Cook it, do your meditations. I don't know, Katrin, if the readings and the homeworks, are they available in the platform yet? No, they are not available. If you can get on the knowledge base, you may be able to find them in your language there. I don't know if they've been translated there or not. Kadrin's saying no. So please be patient with us. It got overlooked in all of the busyness of our lives. And Shijun has their hand raised. Would you like to ask something?
Yeah, sorry, I just asked a question about the tree. So I want to confirm that you say that if in mind only, they say if I am not see the tree fall down, then it's not exist. But in middle way, lower middle way, they say if the tree fall down, I'm not see the tree. But there's another one. Perhaps the Buddha see the tree fall down, then it means the tree exists. Is this right?
I would say it's almost right. We can say the tree, if the Buddha hears the tree or sees the tree fall, then for them, it exists. And we can say, for the Buddha, it exists. This is my understanding, okay? Enlightened beings like the Buddha, they know everything, they can see everything, they know past, present, and future, right? We don't have that ability. You are who you appear to be to me, which is my seeds. So Madhyamika Tantrika would still say that you are producing 50%. Can we mute whoever's mic is on? Or maybe that's yours, Shijun. Is your family in the background? I think we hear them. So you're providing 50% of it. If you're not there, you don't experience it. If you're not there, you don't hear it. If you're not there, it's not there for you. Right? Because you're providing the other half of it. We can't say that half the tree is there. Right? Is there a tree if the Buddha can hear it? If the Buddha is perceiving it. Now, I may be wrong. So let's explore that. That's my understanding. They do say, you know, there's some 50% of self-existent tree out there. But can something exist halfway? Can there be half of an herbivore for me to perceive? Can there be half of you for me to perceive? Right? Good question. Really good question. Okie dokie.
Gracias.
Thank you so
I get
much.
to look at all of your beautiful faces.
Благодарю вас. Thank you so much for the teaching.
So much. Venerable.
Благодарю сердечно.
Gracias.